Hello, I'm Dragoș, and in this video we're going to see how we're going to secure our servers better. I have a few servers that I'm hosting on Hetzner. I have also some home servers that I have, and in this video we're going to see a tool called CrowdSec that will help us secure our servers better. So basically what this tool will do, it will check our logs like the SSH log, the MySQL log, or the Nginx logs. And in case it sees a problem in there, like a brute force attack, it will go and activate the blocking in the firewall. This is their website. The website is called CrowdSec. This is an open source tool that it's free and it can be installed easily on your VPS server. And it has also an interface that it's looking like this. So basically I already have two servers in here. I have one with the IRM and the other one from Oracle, and you see that there are some alerts in here that are seen. So if we dig deeper in here, we see that I have the CS firewall bouncer. So basically how this tool is working, it's just checking the logs, and in case it sees the problems, it communicates with the OS firewall with IP tables and blocks that IP. So it has some collections. These are the ones that are checking the logs, and it has some bouncers like remediation agents are called. And basically what this it's doing, it's just telling the specific application. So you can have remediations that are going into your firewall to block things, or you can go into your Cloudflare, for instance, to block things, or it can go into the Nginx and so on. It has like a hub in here that you can check. You see in here the collections that you can use. So basically these are the things used to collect the threats. And then you have the other one, the remediation components. And in here you see that you have the application. So basically this one can go into the traffic and can add some rules to block the threats in there. It can go into the firewall. You see in here I have the firewall option. So you have multiple firewalls that you can use. You have also the Cloudflare bouncer. And basically this is how it's working in a high level. And yeah, I'm using it for, I don't know, a couple of days, and I like how it's doing the job because it doesn't load my server and it kept me protected. Also, this UI interface, it's free to use, and it's offering a better overview. Let's go and check the collections, security engines. In here I have the alerts, and in here you see that you have the engines, the one that this one it's servers, and you can enroll one very easily with the enroll command, and it will tell you how to enroll it. But this is after we install everything on the server. And in here you have the decisions. So you see that it decided to block some IP, and here it is the one that decided to do that. In here you see that this one, it is the SSH one, and this one is the HTTP one. So I'm using this to monitor my Nginx logs also. We're going to see how we can do that also in this video. And in here we can go and check, for instance, in the engines, you can check more in details what you have in there. So I have one remediation agent. This one is the CS firewall bouncer. And in here you see all the scenarios that he is analyzing. And for this, I've also created an article. Basically, in here you have all the details that we're going to follow. And I've added more things in here that it will be useful, especially if you are a beginner with this tool. Okay, you see in here that you have the explanation with a nice graph. You see that you have in here the log analyze, then it detects the threat, and then it does a real-time remediation by adding the IP address into the firewall by blocking it. And it has also a threat intelligence sharing. So basically you have a community with lists that you can use to block different threats. So it has also this. So that's why it's like better than fail to ban, because it has this community that it's having a lot of lists that you can use. So you see in here that you have the list. Some of them are free, others are premium, but again, you can go and use the free ones. Let's go and see how we can install it. So in here I have a VPS created for this, where I have installed CloudPanel in there, because I want to show you how you can install this on a real server with a real thing. So CloudPanel, it's to have like different websites hosted there, like WordPress with Node and things like that. I've created a lot of tutorials. I have also a course that will help you spin this in there. And yeah, I'm using like a small shape for this from Hetzner. And right now I am also logged into this server, and we're going to go to the article and we're going to follow and check some of the things that are in here. Let me make this a little better. Okay. So in here, I am logged into the VPS server, and in here, I will have the article that we are going to follow. And let's go to the installation part. So basically, the first thing that we are going to need to do is to go and install the repository. So basically what this will do, it will add a repository into my Ubuntu. I have this, it's an Ubuntu server that I am using, and I'm just going to hit enter in here. The server is updated, it's up to date, and everything is running smoothly. And this is the Ubuntu 24 that I am using. So right now you see that the repository details are added in here, and we are going to wait for this to finish. Okay, so the repository it's added, and right now we're going to go and install the CrowdSec. So basically we'll do a sudo apt update with sudo apt install. The thing is that the CrowdSec, it will use the 8080 port to communicate with the local API, and by default this port should be already used. At least this was the case in my previous installations, and you see in here that 8080 is already used. And basically, if you're doing this on a clean installation, you will not see any problems. But when we're going to install this, you're gonna see that the service, it will not be started because the port is already in use. So with this command, with netstat -tool pn, you can check the ports that are opened. And let's go and install this right now so you can see the process. So right now this will just go and fetch the install CrowdSec, and you have like various options to install CrowdSec. You just need to go into their documentation, and in here you have in security engine installation, and in here you can go and check the installation from various like Debian and so on, like CentOS and other things. So you have a lot of installation steps if you want to install it on other servers. But let's move back. And in here, let's see, we should have the error message that it will tell us that 80 port, it's already in use. And you see in here that this port is already in use. So right now the service, it's not started. And what we're going to do is to go and modify this file. So basically, you have two files like ATC CrowdSec. In here you have the config files, and you have the config.yaml, and you have the local API creation.yaml that we are going to modify. So let's go and change the port. So I will gonna use the 8081 port for this. So if you don't know if your 8081 port is free, you can check this with this command. So I'll put it like that. And if we are going to grep -e 81. So basically this will show us if it will find any 8081 port, and you see that it doesn't find anything for 8080. It will find something, which means it's in use. So we can use the 8081 for the local API of CrowdSec to communicate. And let's go and modify these two files and have this installed properly. So let me copy it from my article, because I've included all these options in here. And what I will going to do, I will gonna paste this command, and in here you see that we have the configuration file, and in here you will have a detail where the port it will be used. You see in here that it's listening on 8080, and we are going to add the 81. So in here we're just going to save this right now. Control X, yes, enter, and right now we should have the 8081 used. You see that the 8081 it's used, and we're going to go and modify the second file. Let's go and copy the command, the sudo nano. Again, in here you have the URL with the login credentials for the local API. And we are going to put also one in here. And let's go and Control X. Yes. Enter. And right now you see that we have the changes done and we need to go and start the service. So I will use the service command to start it. You can use the other one if you want. But right now it will just run the sudo service CrowdSec start, and what this will do, it will start the service, and you can check that the service is started after with the status command, and you see that right now the service is active and it started to monitor the details. And let's see, you can check next what collections you have. So what this will do, it will just go. Okay, let me close this. So basically these are the collections, and with sudo cscli collection list, it will list all the collections that it's installed by default. And in here you see that, for instance, right now you have the base HTTPS scenario, you have the HTTP CV, you have the Linux, MySQL, Nginx, SHHD. So basically this collection have been installed automatically because during the installation process, CrowdSec seen what you are using in here and it added the collections for you. If you want to add a collection, you can do that. You can add the collections by manually. I have also a tutorial down how you can do that. Okay, and right now you have the collections ready, and what we have to do is to install the remediation component, and the remediation component that we are going to use is the CrowdSec Firewall Bouncer IP tables. So I have IP tables on the firewall already installed in here. When you install CloudPanel, it comes by default with it, and we're going to go and install it. We'll just copy the command and sudo apt installed CrowdSec Firewall Bouncer IP tables. Again, this is for Ubuntu or Debian releases. If you are using something else, you should go into their tutorial list and check the commands to install it. For Red Hat, you have yum. If the OS is newer than 7, you have the other commands that you can use. So right now you have that the bouncer it's running and the bouncer it's installed. To be able to see the list, you need to run this sudo cscli bouncer list, and this will show you what bouncers you have installed in here. So you see that it's valid, it's running right now. So in case it sees a threat, it will go and add it in the IP tables. Again, I placed all the details in here, and to be able to see the IP tables list, you can run this sudo IP tables -l, and this will list everything. Of course, the CrowdSec has also some commands that will gonna help you understand some of the things that it's doing. This is just to see the firewall rules. So you see that there are a lot of things already in here. Okay, we're not going to focus on this. In here I had some troubleshooting things in case you have problems. We didn't have any problems. And right now we are going to see exactly what are the logs that CrowdSec is monitoring. So to do that, we're gonna check this file, atc CrowdSec AC quiz.yaml. So basically in here you will see the logs that are monitored by the CrowdSec. And in here, if we are going to cut this, we're going to see that these logs that are monitored are for the Nginx. And in here, you see that there are some default things that are added. So right now, this thing is not monitoring our CrowdPanel's log. We can add them in here. We're going to do that in the next section. and we're going to add the application log. So basically, if you are going to install like an application, it will be added automatically in the CrowdSec, so it will be monitored. So basically, it will be good to do that because in case there is an attack or someone is doing a bad thing to your application, CrowdSec, it will gonna check that log and it will make a decision to block that IP in the firewall. And in this way, it will not reach your application and it will block the request coming to your application, and it will not like overload your server and things like that. And in here you see that it's monitoring the syslog, the authentication log. So basically, in case someone it will try to brute force attack into your server, it will go and block that. It will go and monitor the MySQL. And in here you have other syslogs that are monitored. So these are the default things that are added. Of course, you can enhance this with your own things, and we are gonna do that for CloudPanel to see how it's how you can do that. Okay, and the other things that you have, like you have in var log, you have some CrowdSec logs that are used. So if we're gonna check the logs that CrowdSec is creating, you need to go in var log, and in here, let's check everything that starts with Crow. And in here, you have the CrowdSec log, you have the firewall bouncer log, and you have the API log. And yeah, let's go and tell -f in here. So you can see, so you see in here that you see that it's starting and it's pulling out the logs that it's using to monitor everything. And then you have the options to link this to the console. So to do that, it's quite easy. You just need to go into the CrowdSec console in this area, Ngit, and you hit the enroll command. And basically what it will happen, I'll not go into that because it will show you the key. It will just send you this command with your enroll token, and you just need to copy this in here and accept that in the UI, and then you will have the server in the UI, so you can check the details easily in there. Again, all of these things are free, so it doesn't cost you any money. Okay, so right now you have the basic things added in here. The service it's running, and right now, for instance, because I have Nginx in here, and for instance, if you are going to go to CD home, you will see that in here you have the website. So in case you will add a website, it will be added in here. And in here, for instance, you see that I have a test website. I did the video, the CrowdSec one, and in here you see that you have the logs. And in the logs, you will have like an Nginx one. Again, you can also add the PHP one if you want in there, but for this, I will just add the Nginx one. And in here, we have the error log and the access log. And in here, you see, for instance, if you're going to check the access logs, you'll see all the details with everything that it's coming, all the requests and so on. And in case someone it will try to brute force attack into your application, it will hit this Nginx access log, and it will create a lot of entries in here. And that's why it will be good to have our application or website monitored with this. So to do that, again, if you don't have the Nginx and you install it after, you have the options to add the collection. So you can do that with the CSCLI collection install, and you can go and check the collections in their repository in here. So if you are going to go into the hub, in here you have the collections, and you can check for the collection. In our case, it was the Nginx one. And you see that you have the Nginx collection. So you have other things that you can add in here. You can search in here and add to collect data. But let's go and move past, because we already have this collection installed, because Nginx was already installed in here, and CrowdSec already seen that you have this installed. And right now what we are going to do is to go and modify this. So I will use the sudo nano because it's easier to use, and I will open the log file, and in here you see that you have the access log and you have the error log, and what we are going to add is to add this line. So basically what this line will do, let me go and add it in here. Just a second. Okay, so what this line will do, it will go into home. It will search all the directories that you find in home. Then it will go in that directory into logs. It will go into Nginx, and it will pull all the logs that are ending up in .log. So it will fetch everything in there with this termination. Right now, we're going to save this. So Control X, yes, enter. And right now we have the log added for the custom Nginx path. And you see that you already have it. And what we'll need to do is to go and restart the CrowdSec service. So basically we'll need to go and restart this service so it can go and check that log. And then we can go into the CrowdSec log to see exactly if this was added in there. So right now everything should be restarted. You can go and check the status again just to be sure that is running, and you see that this is running. And right now if we're going to see the details, let me close this. You are going to see that you have some logs in here, like BDOS, the CrowdSec log, Nginx access, and the error log that are going to be monitored. Again, for the CloudPanel, you will have also the CloudPanel logs. And right now, to check some of the details and see what you have like in the alert list, you have some commands that you can run. So CSCLIRL alert list, no active alerts. Again, this is a test server. And if we're going to go to the decisions, it will be something like that. So again, you don't have anything in here, but let's go and check like a production website. I will just go to log in here to show you how this is looking on a website that has a lot of things. Okay, so in here you see that when your server it will be in production and you have a lot of things, you see in here the alerts. Again, you can see this also in the UI, and in here you see the one that it's decided and things like that. So I will not present you in details whatever all of these things are doing, because I already have a section with all of this, and in here you see the decision list, you see the action. So in here it decided to ban some of the IP, and you see the HTTP bad user agent, the one that decided to do this. And yeah, in here you see that I've added in the article some examples of why it's good to monitor the Nginx monitoring, because it protects you from this SQL injection and threat attacks and rate limits. And again, in here you have the commands with all of these things, so you can better understand how you can run some of the commands. And here you see that you have like another useful command to see the metrics. And here you see that you have a lot of details of what is happening on this server, and it is nicely displayed. And you see that you have a lot of logs that are accessed in the metrics area. You check all of the logs and you see like how much lines were read and yeah, things like that. And again, you have all of the details. And yeah, if you go into the UI, again, if you're going to go and check the engines, you are going to see all of these details in there. So basically, this was the server that I was using. And in here, you have the scenarios and the details. So if you don't want to go into the command line directly and check all of these things, you can go and add your server in here. And in here, you will be prompt you to easily search for the details. Again, in here, you have the options to remove a block manually if you want, like this, to add it or delete it. So you are using their utility CS CLI for this. And yeah, I've added all of these details in the article because it is like a lot of things that you can do with this, even more than it's in this video. And you can check it if you want to have more insights into the CrowdSec on how this is working. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video and it helped you to better secure your VPS server. And in case you like what you have seen, please don't forget to like and subscribe, and happy hosting or self-hosting.